Welcome back, fellow Dream Warriors, to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alistair Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present Kamen Rider Zeztz, episode 27. So, everybody, our fellow Dream Warriors in town, because beware, Dawn has made his debut. An explosive one, as a matter of fact, because he shows up in his badass Terminator suit, demonic, of course. He looks demonic, reminds me a whole lot of Dread. And he makes his debut inside the Toei warehouse, because everything that happens in that warehouse, either if it's a Kamen Rider or Super Sentai, which, is canceled now, Sheriff, Metal Heroes, and I don't think Ultraman, but let's add that franchise into that mix as well. Every single superhero franchise uses the Toei warehouse. And so he makes his debut with explosive proportions. He takes down Nox, he takes down number 5, and he takes out our beloved Rita out of proportion. And he goes after Baku, and Baku is surprised to, 1, see another Kamen Rider, and 2, he's like, who the hell are you? Did the future change? And, you see Baku in the real world getting his body tossed around, and while the other Black Case members were like, what the hell is happening in there? And so Dawn defeats Baku, which, Baku wakes up, returns to the real world, and tells the Black Case members, hey, I've been attacked by a new Kamen Rider. I don't know if he is an enemy or a misunderstood ally. He doesn't know. And he goes to his English dictionary, and Minami was like, why are you getting a dictionary for? And Baku's like, I can't start my missions in Japanese because they need to be in English. And Mulder is like, is that really necessary? I mean, why do you need to, have your missions, in English? And Baku, I don't remember if he answered the question or not, but he's like, well, it has to be in English, man. My missions needs to be in English. So he goes through the dictionary, right? And he discovers this word called unmask. So this is where he gives himself a mission. And the mission of the week is unmask the enemy. And Baku just says good luck to himself. I just find it to be funny how he gives himself a mission and he gives good luck to himself. I just find it to be goofy, cheesy maybe. I'm like, wow, you're giving good luck to yourself. I mean, Zero's not doing it for you, so might as well do it yourself, right? So after the opening credits, I don't know if you want me to give my opinions about the new theme song. I mean, it's something to get used to. My favorite right now so far has been Visions. So yeah, unless they're gonna make another theme song, like a third theme song, which I hardly doubt they would. But I'm not feeling the second theme because I'm so used to Visions. I don't know why Toei decided to make the decision of, hey, since this is going to be a new arc and, everything's going to be flipped over, let's just give a new theme music. I don't think it was necessary, but, it is what it is. So after the opening credits, our beloved Rita has been taken to the hospital, and we don't actually see her face. We only see her ring. So I don't know, because here's what I'm trying to say here. Usually when a character is at the hospital, we see the character's face, the actress or actor's face, right? In this case, we don't see Rita's actress lying in bed. We only see like a hand with the ring of, the sixth ring, whatever, but we don't see a face. So this tells me that the actress maybe wasn't available, which makes sense because why would she want to be on set just to, lay down in bed and just to see her, in bandages and all that stuff just for one scene, for one episode. I think it wasn't even necessary. Maybe the producers, the directors were calling Rita and be like, hey, take a day off. We don't actually need you. We have like somebody else, like a stand-in, because in this episode you're taken out, you're in the hospital, and that's it. So it makes sense. Either she wasn't available, or the people in the back told the actress, hey, take a day off. It's fine. You don't need you today. Yeah, because we would have seen the actress's face. But in this case, we didn't. So, yeah, I think it's just a stand-in. Also, it goes back to the crazy lady. If you remember, we only saw a full body, but not the face. So this implies that maybe she had a day off. That could be it too. I don't know. Just something that I've noticed, and as Rita is lying in bed, and you see poor Five just be like, oh man, like it sucks. And then you have emo Alexis not making things any better. He was so disappointed at those two. Because in the lines, he said, wow, you came back with, 6 injured and you couldn't do the job. Like 2 people versus 1 rogue agent. What the hell? Of course, emo Alexis didn't get all the info because Nox was there, not just Baku. And then you have Dawn, kicking ass. So it's like 4 people versus 1 badass looking Terminator. And, they're lucky to come back from the dream space alive. And so Alexis is being a dick, being all disappointed, boss, be like, wow, you didn't bring back Baku. Like, wow. And Five was like, that's it? One of your agents is in critical conditions, and all you do is, bagmouth us? Like, we barely got out of there alive, and who the hell is this writer anyways? And in response, Five gets his arm twisted and tells Five, stop asking questions. You need to focus on healing, and once you're healed up, I will give you your next set of orders, and he leaves. But Alexis knows who this man is, and I don't understand why he cannot tell Five, this is what we're up against right now, and just give him the information. But Code is all about you following orders, stop asking questions, and once you have proven, not useful anymore, we're gonna push you off a cliff. You're dead. Sacrificial lamb and all that. So yeah, Alexis knows, but he refuses to tell Five. We go to the next scene. Speaking of Dawn, we get transported to some part of dream hell, into the pits of what I like to call the Nightmare Underground. And we get to see Dawn in his human form, and you get to see all these nightmares all locked up, and he releases 2 of them, and he pits them against each other. So this is like a battle to the finish, and winner, we don't know yet. So, yeah. We go to the next scene, back to Code HQ. And this is where we learn that emo Alexis and of course Zero knows who the hell Dawn is, and his name is Zeztz. And according to them, he's been hiding for a while up till now. He is a rogue dungeon produced by Code Somia, and Emo Alexis says to Zero, like, we can't leave him to his own devices. He's gonna screw up everything. Well, what are we gonna do? We can't leave him alone. And of course Zero says, yeah, I know, he is a rogue, he is a beast, so I will think of countermeasures. Countermeasures upon countermeasures. And then we go to the next scene. This is a quick scene with the crazy lady, killer of purple butterflies and potted plants. And she tells her comatose daughter to avoid Zeke at all costs. Gee, I wonder why. This is just a theory, guys. Do you think that the nightmare that attacked the crazy lady from the beginning, could it be Zeke? Is Zeke the father of Nem? Maybe. I mean, in Kamen Rider, just like in the WWE, anything can happen. I wouldn't be surprised if Zeke ends up becoming Nem's, father. That would be interesting. But if it ends up being like a random nightmare, like what happened in her version, then okay, fine. But if it would be more interesting if it was Zeke, because can you imagine? And I feel bad for Nem if it were to come to pass, having the crazy lady and Zeke, who is also crazy. Oh no. Oh, I'm glad that you're adopted, Nem. I'm so glad. It's a miracle you didn't turn out to be as crazy, or if not more crazy than your parents, if Zeke turns out to be your father. I'm just saying. Here's one thing I want to add to before I move on. Zero never mentioned that Zeke was the former Agent 1. So there's still a possibility that he may or may not be the former Agent 1. All we know is that he was a product of the Code Somnia thing. So I don't know, but it's still up in the air that it could be that Zeke could be the former Agent 1. I wouldn't be surprised either. So we go back to the next scene with the two nightmares fighting against each other while Zeke is just sitting there on his couch watching this fight. And he goes on by saying that he never met someone that he felt so compatible with Zeztz. And bad dreams are something to be savored. And then all of a sudden the Shadow Nightmare decides to pick a fight with Zeke, which is a bad idea. And then the other Nightmare is telling the Shadow, hey, your fight is against me, not him. But, that was his mistake because he ultimately lost. The Shadow Nightmare wins. What he ends up winning is his freedom, so he goes. And that was it. And then we go back to the real world with Baku. He is setting up security measures to keep Code away. And you see Minami and Baku cleaning up his room. And all of a sudden, Baku is giving his sister a piece of paper with an apartment, telling her, hey, I suggest you move because I don't want you to get involved. I do apologize. And Minami's response was tearing up the paper, Nancy Pelosi style. And Baku was like, what the hell are you doing? I'm trying to, get you away from this danger. And Minami responds with, look, Baku, I understand where you're coming from here, but you need to understand something here. Sure, you are Agent 7 in the dream world, but here, you're Baku. And you're vulnerable because, yes, you're asleep. No one will awake you except for you. But somebody can take your body and put you somewhere like a cell or something. Someone needs to protect your body while you're doing your thing. And this is where Baku is like, oh, yeah, you're right. And it's true. Yes, Baku is strong in the dream space, yes. But if you're asleep in the real world, what happens if those security measures end up failing and security from Code, Zero, or Emo Alexis, which I doubt he will ever lift him up, or 5 or 6 or anybody, any one of his enemies can easily break in to Baku's room and takes his body to God knows where. I mean, Minami makes a strong case. While at the same time, as Baku told her, I don't want you involved, I'm like, dude, she's already involved. Even if she wanted to move out, like, I just believe that your enemies are going to target her. Look what happened to the crazy lady. There is a possibility that the crazy lady could easily get to her too. And I don't think, does Minami know that the crazy lady is actually the doctor in disguise? I mean, either way, she is in danger too. Also Mulder and Scully, anybody who is involved with him and who knows, what he is doing and all that stuff, they are in danger. So as much as he wants to take them away from danger, they're already involved. And I'm like, yeah. So whether Minami likes it or not, whether Baku likes it or not, they are involved together, and Minami is staying. And I like how Minami is giving, points, strong, valid points to Baku that, hey, you can't do this alone. You need somebody to protect your body while you're out doing your thing. Who's going to do that if, she's not there? You want to rely on Mulder and Scully, who always breaking and entering through the window? Great points, Minami. Great points. Meanwhile, speaking of Mulder and Scully, you see Mulder, walking. I don't know where he's going or anything, but you see Scully following him, and Mulder point out, like, why are you following me when you were jumping for joy that, the paranormal division is gone, so why are you sticking around? And Scully says, like, even I don't know. But it's funny when after being shown so much information under 20 minutes, she has doubts still. And when she heard Rita's voice in the background, she was like, yeah, this is personal for me. I don't believe much of what Baku said, even though, yeah, last week, he was talking of what about his premonition for 20 minutes, and she was like, doesn't believe and all that stuff. But after listening to Rita, she felt like she needs to stick around because this is a personal thing for her. And so we go to a quick scene back to the Nightmare Underworld. Zig destroys the loser. And then after that, we go to the next scene with Baku. And he tries to pull a gotcha. And he represents everybody who plays a gotcha game. Where in this case, Baku is trying to get an ultra rare Kamen. And with no avail. Because he ends up getting copies of Kamens that he already has. So he ends up being disappointed on the ground, the same feeling that we gotcha players get when we lose the 50-50. But it wasn't a complete loss, because if you end up getting copies of the same Kamen, the Kamen, for example, the Impact Kamen, if you end up getting an extra copy or two, the first Kamen, gets the powers of the other two, and its powers becomes double, or in this case, triple. It's the same thing if you play this game called Fate Grand Order. If you end up getting a copy of the servant you already have, instead of, throwing it in the trash, you can use the copy to boost up your noble phantasm from 1 to 2. Same case here. And then as Baku was getting excited to know that if he ends up getting copies, his captain gets, its power increased. And he gets so excited that he shows off to Minami, and Minami is like, I get it. Just, nah, I get it. And Baku continues to insist, like, hey, like, just away from me. I get it. Play with your ball somewhere else. Then all of a sudden, Baku gets a phone call from none other than the Decepticon himself, Zero. The reason behind the call was because Zero is offering him a temporary truce to get rid of Zeke. And the only thing of value that Zero gave to Baku in terms of information was his name. And he goes on by saying, if you want more information, you need to agree to this temporary truce. And Baku threw, Nox to his face. I'm not interested in an alliance with you because I know what's gonna happen if I say yes. Sure, there's gonna be a team up. We'll take out Zeke, but after taking out Zeke, I'm sure you will stab me in the back, just like what you did to Nox. So I'm not interested in this temporary, permanent alliance. Whatever you have, I'm not interested. And Zero adds, well, you're going to need, Code's backup. Without it, how are you going to defeat this rogue Kamen Rider? And Baku says, I will take my chances. Goodbye. Shove your truce up, to the shove it. Just shove it. And he hangs up on him. And Minami is concerned because, okay, how are you going to get help now? And Baku reassures her, yeah, don't worry about it, sis. I will get help. And I know who's going to help me. Nox. Nox? She said, Nox? I mean, wasn't he the one in your vision that you killed? Yeah, but this time it's going to be different, Minami, because if I end up helping Nox, he will help me in return because I have the power to awaken him from his comatose state. And so, as Baku goes to sleep, Minami all of a sudden decides to take her cat necklace down. She takes it off and makes a phone call asking if it's okay to take a longer vacation from work. And that's how the scene ends. And before I move forward to the next scene, I'm like, Minami, what the hell are you doing? Why do you felt the need to take off your necklace and just place it on the table for you to make a phone call just to have an extended, vacation? Like, what is going on here? Seriously. And a lot of people in the comments were like, Minami, this is something very suspicious. And it goes back to, the opening credits. And there was like a cat there, and then you have these red eyes with the cat eyes and all that stuff. And everything points to Minami and her cat necklace. Now, this is going to be very cruel on Code's part, because can you imagine if Code in the final arc reveals that Minami is not really Baku's sister? She's nothing more than a mole for Code, a spy, a double agent, if you will. Like, can you imagine Baku's reaction if Code were to say, yeah, Minami is not your blood sister. She works for us. And, now he's really gonna hate Code. Because, oh my god, installing a fake sister just for the sister to just look out for him and report back to Zero and be like, you know, hey, like, this is what's going on and whatnot. But it's strange because in the Vision version, didn't Zero threaten Minami that if she were to expose what Zero had told her at that time to anybody, that she's going to get disposed of? Why would Zero threaten her if she works for Code? But then again, we now discovered that, you know, Code sacrifices their agents once they have proven no longer of use. So I wouldn't be surprised if Code has hired Minami to be the fake sister of Baku just to report back to Zero and be like, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, her usefulness is no longer required and ends up getting killed off, which I don't believe is going to happen. But I don't know. This is an interesting plot twist if it were to happen. Yuya, knowing your crazy little creative mind, it wouldn't be far-fetched. But, guys, write in the comments below, do you think that this is the most cruelest move of Code's part if Minami is discovered to be not Baku's sister? That would be so cruel. Like, god damn. Is it gonna happen? We'll soon find out. This is just a wild theory, you know. Anyways, as Minami makes that phone call, we go to Baku into Dream World. Nem meets up with him. She is dressed in white, which indicates that Baku has invaded Nox's dream. And we go to the next scene, back to the Nightmare Underground. And it's the same nightmare that Zeke destroyed. But apparently he wasn't destroyed. And all of a sudden he gets empowered with this strange power that it's infusing him. Yeah. And we go to the next scene. We see Baku and Nem. They find Nox, and this is where this is where Baku presents Nox with the recovery capsule. And Nox was confused, like, why are you giving this to me? And Baku responds with, "You're not my enemy. I only deem people who are my enemies if they're causing harm to other people. They're my enemies. You're not my enemy." Hence, he wants a trade. The recovery capsule for information of Zeke. And then, the Shadow Nightmare appears. He transforms into the Flash. And then we quickly go to the next scene as Baku and the Nightmare fight each other. And you have Nem and Nox looking on. And Nem was like, he's doing this to, make your dreams come true. And Nox was like, I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask him to do this for me. I'm like, I don't get it. Even though Baku said that you're not his enemy, right? And then Zeke makes another flashy appearance. And you see him fighting Baku in his human form for a little bit. And then he transforms into his badass Kamen Rider Dawn form and continues to fight. And he is an expert, fighter. Like, god damn, he really knows how to fight. I wouldn't be surprised, again, that he is the former Agent 1. I wouldn't be surprised. But anyways, we get to see Dawn in his full power, kicking ass, and then in the process, he ends up destroying the Shadow Nightmare, and his finisher, my god, Dark Ryuki meets Shaman King with, what's the Iron Maiden finish, I'm like, god damn, that's pretty cool. And then the way he says bye-bye, reminiscent to Evolt in his Chow. So, yeah, reminiscent to Evolt, Shaman King with the Iron Maiden, and then Ryuki, and of course Bill with Banjo Ryuga and his finisher. Wow, 3 things in one. And Baku demands to know, what is it that you're up to? What do you want? And being how sick and twisted Zeke is, he says, isn't it boring to have the same dream twice? I'll be turning this into a real bad dream or nightmare. And then he transports everybody into a Mad Max world, and that's how the episode ends. Golly, Zeke, he is a force to be reckoned with, and he still hasn't used any of his capsims. I'm sure he has some capsims stored somewhere in his prison, but for him to defeat Baku in his flash form and his ability to anticipate attacks, he really needs all the help he can get. And even with Nox at his side and maybe Agent 5 and 6, if they were to join up, there is a slight chance, but Baku needs his mega form in order to defeat Zeke. And then after Zeke, you still have to deal with the likes of the lady and of course Code. So yeah, Baku has many enemies to defeat, but with Nox by his side, I don't know if he's going to be a team player. At first, he may not, but Nox knows that, Baku shares, a common enemy in Code, and I'm not sure how he feels about the lady. And Zeke, yeah, he needs to be stopped. So Nox, whether he likes it or not, he will have to team up with Baku. Minami, Yuya has decided to make things interesting for her character and the mysterious cat necklace, and yeah, I don't know. Like I mentioned earlier, it would be so cruel if Code were to say that Minami is not really Baku's sister. She's nothing more than a plant for Code. Can you imagine Baku and hearing that news, if that come to pass, how destroyed he will feel? And he will have more than enough reasons to just destroy Code, take down Zero. Oh, yeah. Yep, it's very bad. The idea of Zeke being, Nem's father is interesting. Is it gonna happen? It's too early. And yeah, I think that's it. That's all I can think of right now. But give me your thoughts and opinions about Kamen Rider Dawn and his debut, and my theories about him being the father, to Minami being a pawn of Code. Like, yeah, give me your own theories. If you have your own theories, write in the comments below. Yeah, I have nothing to say because I'm starting to ramble now and I'm losing thought. So it's a good time for me to take my leave. So if you've seen episode 27, which I hope you guys did, or else this would have been spoiler territory. But, give me your thoughts and opinions about this episode. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? If there's anything that I missed, even though I have my notes in front of me, I may have missed a couple of things here and there. You never know. And give me your thoughts about the suit. Is it badass? Is it not? Yeah, anything. Give a like if you like it, and please subscribe. And I'll see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Johnny!